Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we have an art collab, the first ever art collab on the channel officially, with the one and the only Just Me Art. So basically, how this video is going to go is, we each do our own sketches, and in our video is going to be how we render them in our style. So if you want to see my art style, you'll see that in this video. But if you want to see hers, you got to pop over to her channel, and I'll link it down in the description. But that being said, let's get into the video. So starting off with Julia's sketch, you can see that I already started. I know, because I forgot to record the beginning part, but you'll soon realize that that isn't even important. So off rip, I knew I wanted something very distinct when it came with lighting. I personally wanted a lot of contrast, because even though I'm putting this one first, I started my drawing first and mine had a lot of really interesting lighting, so I wanted to bring that into Julia's sketch as well. So once I had blocked out the colors, I started going in to like add more shadows on the lighter side, because this pink side was going to be the side that I wanted to render eventually. So pretty much this is just me following all the guidelines of Julia's sketch, because if you can see, she has really intense line art and it's pretty easy to follow. Everything's kind of already laid out for you. Now this is when things start to get a little interesting, because at this point in the drawing, I really didn't like it. I was switching up a lot of things and I was just trying to make it look good. At first I was like, okay, maybe it's the shadows, maybe I need a bit more contrast, maybe it's the eyes, maybe I need to switch the color of them. But all in all, no matter what I would do, I just really did not like it. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little scared. Like I was like, oh, I don't know what is happening. Like, this is so ugly, especially coming off of like doing my own and it turning out so well. I was like, this must be what art block feels like, because this is absolutely atrocious. So I think I worked on it for literally like a few more minutes and then decided to just delete it and start over, because I have free will. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what, if I just start over, maybe this will be a bit better. But I wasn't going to continue to work on something that just was not looking good. I've learned that myself, and I hope that you can also take that away. When you're doing art and it's not working out, you can just start over. I used to overwork things to death, but I decided, no, there's no need for that. So as you can see, that is Julia's raw sketch, and this is how I'm going to render it for the second time. Now, while you guys watch me lay down the flat colors, I actually got Julia here with me, and she's going to tell you guys what was going through her mind and how she wanted to basically create this entire sketch and why she created it.
Hi guys, so this is Just Me Art, and my inspiration for this sketch was just something simple that Jordan could get done, because as we all know, she is extremely slow at rendering. So I just wanted to level the playing field, because her drawing that she created was something with short hair, and I got a little sneak peek of it, so I kind of wanted to match the energy, and so I created something with short hair. As you can see, I also included a neck and a hand. That's just because I just thought it would make the piece a little bit more rounded and dynamic, because a hand always adds something to a piece. So that's why I added it. So I was watching Scrappy draw, and she really threw this one together, y'all. Like she really made sure she got this done snappy, and I think that reflects in her work. Y'all, Scrappy is in a row with me right now, but yes, this was a very fun collab. I think we really both, you know, showed oh, so right now I'm looking at the screen, and now I'm kind of seeing what Scrappy was going for, but still, you know, I really thought Scrappy took a very unique turn on this. It was good, and I enjoyed the collab. Just Me out.
Alright, so y'all heard her. She was eating me up, and I ain't even gonna lie, it's for good reason, because I was low-key eating her up when I saw how she rendered my joint too, so I don't care. All shots fire. It's friendly fire over here. That is just, it's purely for fun, you know what I mean? But she would probably say she being dead serious. I will say I'm not even being serious, but she being serious, so Just Me Art, she being serious. But basically, to get back to the art, if you see what I'm doing here, pretty much I'm just like adding some subsurface scattering after adding the really heavy values. I did, you know, the light strip down the side of the face along with the really shadowy, I guess, drop light that they did on this photo shoot. So like I had mentioned before, Julia's sketches are very complete in the way that she draws them, so it was kind of easy for me to navigate her anatomy. Not like super easy because it isn't my drawing, so I was having a bit of trouble there, but once I had realized what I was looking at, I was able to navigate it pretty well, and I think I did my big one with it. Like, I think I honestly did it justice. So pretty much what I'm doing here is adding like another lighter highlight color, which looking back on it, I think I could have went a bit lighter, but I think instead of going lighter, I just went darker, if that makes sense, on the subsurface scattering. What you guys are basically watching me do right now is just work on the eye, and I'm gonna have to hit y'all with a little cliffhanger, because if you want to see how I finish this drawing, you gotta go to the end of the video for the final reveal. Yeah, I'm hitting y'all one of those, because right now we seeing how I render my sketch. So going into this drawing, I'm pretty much approaching it the same way that I approached my last one. Well, the second last one, Julia's sketch. I wanted something with really heavy values and a lot of contrast, and if you'll notice, this sketch is actually from one of my other videos. It's from a video that I did of capturing likeness, and the reason why I'm using this sketch again is because Julia liked it and she was like, oh, I want to render that one, so we just ended up choosing this one. So basically I picked an orange color, and then I color dropped the hair, or took the eyedropper tool, but then realized that it was just way too dark for the color that I picked for the face, so I ended up lightening it to like a very dark color, but a lighter color, if that makes sense. Something that would just mesh well with the value of that I already had down for the face. So pretty much, like I said, I'm just going in and adding in all of the flat colors, because I feel like that's just the easiest way to approach anything. And usually when I do approach lighting, I just draw a regular face, if that makes sense, and then do the lighting on top. But because the colors were so heavy, I just rendered with the lighting. Like, it was just whatever the colors are, that's what I rendered with, basically like a reddish color and a grayish color. I wish I could explain to you guys how I went about picking these colors, but if I'm being completely honest with you, I think I just was tweaking them until they looked right. Like, if you look up in the right corner, you'll see how all of my colors ended up getting picked. Like, the red has less green in it, and the grayish color, I honestly don't know how I picked that. I don't know if I color dropped it or not. I honestly can't remember, but I just wanted it to look like what I was seeing, and that was what I kept telling myself throughout the entire rendering process. Now, this was a bit out of my comfort zone, but I really wanted to push myself, because me and my sister said, like, if we're going to do this collab, we got to do it well. So that throughout the entire process, I was like, you know what, I can't be trashy. Like, I cannot be regular degular. I have to push the envelope. And that's honestly, I think I did that, to be honest. Like, this is one of the best drawings I think I've done in the entire year. I went with the heavy lighting, with the light rendering, and I'm actually really proud of myself. You'll see towards the end. This next part though, you can't really see my rendering because the colors are so bright. Like, this red color is like this super, like, not even neon, but it's just really bright, so it's really hard to see my rendering. But I really am just adding like another dark color on top of the lighter color for like a, I want to say, what is that called? I guess like a drop shadow. Let me stop talking like I know. But just basically how you see the girl has like this underlit structure on her face, and then it just has the shadow from the lighting coming from underneath her face, if that makes sense. I know that sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm pretty much just copying what I see on my own sketch. Yeah, I'm just copying what I see, y'all. Then after I rendered a little bit, I realized that I was a bit overwhelmed, so I started on the eyes just to kind of like break it up, and then I went back to the face eventually, and then I went back to the eyes, and you'll see that as well. Also, if you don't know, like if you didn't watch my last video, this is supposed to be Winona Ryder, but my little sister said that by the end of it, it just looked like me, and I think that's so funny because I say the same thing to her. Every drawing she draws, I'm like, that looks literally just like you, and she's like, everything you draw looks like you, and I think that's so funny because I think a lot of artists do that subconsciously. Like, we're not trying to do that, it just happens because I think we look at ourselves so often, and a lot of people use themselves as a reference that you kind of just end up drawing yourself all the time. And honestly, that's a little poetic if you think about it. Like, you are your greatest muse. You'll always have yourself if you need like a model. So basically, if I had to explain this step, I think I was using kind of like a smudge brush, and I merged both of the colors together or blurred them together, and then I took that color and rendered with that. And that's just basically what I did for the entire piece. No matter what color, I just kind of took a middle color and just blended them together and created a gradient. One thing I was also keeping in the back of my mind when it came to this drawing was to just not do too much. I feel like I get caught up in details a lot, and even though by the end of it, it looks like I did a lot, this drawing, it didn't take me that long. Like, I worked on it days, but not a lot each day, if that makes sense. I kind of worked on a little bit, and then I stepped back, and then I worked on it more, and I stepped back, because I just feel like I just wanted the idea to get across, but I didn't want to get caught up in like things that just didn't matter. So I tried to keep the darkest color, which was, you know, the color of the skin, which was the gray color, and then this heavy red lighting. That was just the most important thing to me. Then once I went in and I was at a place where I thought like I just didn't know where to go next, I think I just added the highlights, because I remember distinctively being at this point where I'm like, oh, like I don't know what to do next. And I think that's why it took me a few days to work on it, because I would work on it for 20 minutes and then I would be like, I'm not really knowing how I feel about it, and then I would step away, and that was pretty much the entire process. So it took me about a week to complete, but really if I think back on it, I was really only working on it for maybe about 30 to 40 minutes each day. It was nothing too intense. So we're getting to like the home stretch of the drawing, and the eyes, in my opinion, was like the turning point for me. And I know it looked like I took a big jump here, but really I didn't. I really just upped the opacity of the sketch, because I had the sketch at a really low opacity, but then I couldn't see anything, so I was like, I think I want the sketch to be more present in the final drawing. So I just upped the opacity and pretty much just rendered underneath of the sketch and then a little bit on top. And I didn't do too much to it. Like I said, the sketch was very helpful, and I ended up keeping a lot of it by the end of it. I was pretty much just adding in color and fixing the lighting for everything. But like I was saying before, I worked on the eyes when I was at a point in the drawing where I didn't really know what else to do. I was just kind of like, I know I have to add more shadow, but I don't really know how to go about the rendering process. So I was like, let me just work on the eyes and hopefully that will like help me. And if you can see here, it obviously did. Once I had added the eyes and then added the highlights, I really was like feeling super confident about where I was going with this drawing, and I was like really happy at this point. I was like, wow, I'm really him. Like, I'm really him. When it came to the hair, I kept it relatively simple, because if you notice in the reference image, it's really not much going on. You can only see like a few hairs in the top of her head, and that's about it, because the lighting is so heavy that you're not noticing much detail. So I wanted to keep that apparent in my actual final drawing. So as you can see, I'm just adding little highlights to the ends of her hair. And then from this point, I think the last thing that you guys will see me do is add like more depth in the top of her face, because it looks really flat at this point. Like, I think I was going to leave it, but then I was like, something's missing. Like, I couldn't figure out like what it was. So I was like, maybe if I add more shadows, it'll help. And then once I started adding in more shadow, I was like, okay, that's what it needed. And I pretty much added that everywhere I felt as though I needed to. I'm really excited for y'all to see the final designs, and I really hope that you like them. And also go check out Julia's designs, because she really ate it up as well, and let me know what you guys think.
Okay, we say okay. Okay, we say okay.
Alrighty everyone, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate all the great feedback that I've been getting on my last videos, and I really hope you'll continue to grow with me in this channel with my art, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. Also, I think we're at 380 subs, so I'm really happy about that, and I really appreciate it. If you have any suggestions down below, put them in the comments. I read all of them, I reply to all of them, and I will continue to do that for as long as I can. Also, go check out Just Me Art's video. It's really good. She has really great editing, really great art style. It's actually really funny, so go watch her video, let me know what you think, and that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.